Bhagavad recitation. This is our third session. We're still in the first chapter of the sixth canto. With this session, this morning's first session, will complete the first chapter, and that leaves us with two more chapters. The second chapter we'll do today. Between second and the third session of today, we'll complete the second chapter, and then remaining third chapter we will relish here, study tomorrow. So Yamadutas have arrived, and Vishnudutas also. Yesterday we heard of the brief life sketch. Brief life sketch, and who would study such a lifestyle? The husband is a prostitute's husband. Disipate Ajamila. He was addressed, introduced as Disipate Ajamila. We have traveled long distances at great expense and inconvenience, leaving aside so many other important assignments. We have come here just to study the life of Disipate, the husband of this prostitute. Is it worth? Maybe now you know what the topic is, you better go home, do something more important. There's a contrast, but there's a lesson. Even Disipate, such a degraded person, there's even hope for such a person. That's the inspiration that we get. Maybe we are not as fallen or not that bad, like we can't match the lifestyle of Ajamila. So such fallen person, but he chants Narayan, and 4 Vishnudutas come. And 3 were already there, 3 Yamadutas. And the Vishnudutas are naturally want to stop the undertaking, the work in action by the Yamadutas. It was not necessary, it is irrelevant. They were thinking, Vishnudutas were thinking, this person has chanted name of Narayan. That's it. At the time of death he has done so helplessly. He cried out, Bhartur Nama Maharaja Sahasa Apatan. When they heard the name of their Swami, their master, Narayan, Sahasa, suddenly they appeared. Could see how swiftly they must have moved, not losing even fraction of second. It is said they are normally here in the universe. They are wandering, protecting Vaishnavas, or picking up Vaishnavas, taking Vaishnavas back home, back to Godhead, Vaikuntha Loka. So they were around in the universe somewhere, on the planet somewhere. But when they heard the name, someone chanting name Narayan, they all appeared. And they looked so beautiful, effulgent, that their appearance dissipated all the darkness. And so we went through the description of their clothing and the ornaments and the weapons that they were carrying. And this was just contrary to the Vakratunda, Urdhva Romna, crooked faces, and the hairs were standing on end, and Ati Darunan, very horrible looking. So one coming from hell, he could tell Prabhupada wrote in one of those purports, just by looking at, before even foreigner is introduced, by his look, or by his beauty, by the way he's dressed. Of course, once he begins talking, you would know more about him. He's just a dress, or he's just a fool, number one. Just dressed like a gentleman. You would find that out. But not only they are good-looking and well-dressed, but they are also highly intelligent, very wise persons. So when we would hear them talk, or as Yamarajas hear them speaking, they just left Ajamila behind, and they proceeded to abode of Yamaraj. So we were Sri Vishnudutaha Uchuhu. Vishnudutas are challenging Yamadutas, and they think maybe they are not even the representatives of Yamaraj. If they were truly representatives of Yamaraj, they wouldn't be even here. Did you not hear the name Narayan that this person chanted? Yes. Still you are taking him to abode of Yamaraj? Doesn't sound like you are Yamaraj's representatives. You better double check with Yamaraj, telephone him. What you are doing is right or wrong. We are confident that you shouldn't be here. You have nothing to do with this case. This is beyond your jurisdiction. What are you doing here? And if you truly are somebody from Yamaraj, then yam vai dharma rajasya yadi nirdeshakarinaha bruta dharmasya nastatvam yatcha dharmasya lakshanam. So I would like you to bruta means say, yam vai dharmasya yadi, if you are truly dharmarajas, Yamarajas, nirdeshakarinaha, the order carriers. Nirdesh. Yamaraj gives some order and you execute. If that is what you people are, then bruta, say, dharmasya tattvam. We want to hear the truth about dharma. At the same time, yachya adharmasya lakshanam. Dharmasya tattvam adharmasya lakshanam. Dharma adharma. Both you have to explain. What is dharma and what is not dharma. What is religion, what is not religion. Okay, hurry up. Say it. This inquiry by Vishnudutas to Yamadutas is most important. Prabhupada writes in the purport. A servant must know the instructions of his master. The servants of Yamaraj claimed to be carrying out his orders, and therefore the Vishnudutas very intelligently asked them to explain the symptoms of religious and irreligious principles. The question posed by the Vishnudutas are very suitable. One who represents someone else must fully know that person's mission. If we are representing Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, if we are representing Srila Prabhupada, representing our spiritual masters, then we have to know their mission, Prabhupada is pointing out here. The devotee in Krishna consciousness movement must therefore be fully aware of the mission of Krishna and Lord Chaitanya. Otherwise they will be considered foolish. All devotees, especially preachers, must know the philosophy of Krishna consciousness so as not to be embarrassed and insulted when they preach, to avoid the embarrassing, insulting, and other kinds of situation. One should equip oneself, especially preachers, with the philosophy, with the mission of the master authority that they represent. Katham svidhriyate dandaha kim vasyasthanam ipsitam dandyaha kim karinaha sarve ahosvit kachichin nrunam. Translation. What is the process of punishing others? Vishnudutas are inquiring. Who are the actual candidates for punishment? What are the karmis? Are all karmis engaged in fruitive activities punishable, or only some of them? So no one knows, right, these things. So this we could know. Vishnudutas have inquired for our benefit, so that the answer will be benefited by the answer. An answer is coming up. Good to know who is candidate for punishment. Do Yamadutas only punish Hindus or Germans also? One party, followers of Buddha, They were part of their conversion campaign. They were saying, we don't believe in this law of karma like Hindus do. So you should join our Dharma. They are giving concessions. Our Dharma is better. We don't believe in law of karma. Come, please join us. Those who believe, they have to suffer. As you sow, so shall you reap. This is the law of karma. For some advertise, no, we don't believe. So you should join our religion is much easy and, So is that the way? If someone says, no, we don't believe in this law of karma. So is that person free from law of karma? Just because he says, we don't believe. So, in other words, Yamadutas, Yamaraj has a jurisdiction over everybody. It's coming up. Especially human beings for sure. So Prabhupada is pointing that out in this purport. But I just wanted you to think, maybe this question did not even come up, that Yamaraj and all this, Yamaduta, this is only for Hindus only. And, Chinese people have nothing to do with this. They have someone else, another Yamaraj or another system, infrastructure. No, same thing. Universal. One who has power to punish others should not punish everyone. Very wise statement Prabhupada is making. One who has power to punish others should not punish everyone indiscriminately. There are innumerable living entities, the majority of whom are in the spiritual world and are nitya mukta, everlastingly liberated. There is no question of judging these liberated living beings. Yamadutas, Yamaraj has no jurisdiction over all those who are in the spiritual sky. Only a small fraction of living entities, perhaps 1/4, are in the material world, right? 3-pad vibhuti, 1-pad vibhuti. Spiritual sky is like a 3/4 of the kingdom, creation. 1/4 is material world. So Prabhupada is saying perhaps only 1/4 of the population, living entities are here. And major portion of the living entities in the material world, 800,000 out of 8,400,000 forms of life are lower than human beings. They are not punishable, for under the laws of material nature, they are automatically evolving. So nobody from the spiritual sky is punishable. And then out of 8,400,000, 800,000 are, 8 million are other species. So they're also not punishable. Like a dog is not punished if he crosses when the red light is on, traffic red light. Does the police arrest the dog? He's just irresponsible. So he could never teach any tricks, anything to the dog, so he's going to break. So like that. So that's remaining only 400,000. Human beings who are advanced in Krishna consciousness are responsible, but not all of them are punishable. Those engaged in advanced pious activities are beyond punishment. So Prabhupada is just trying to analyze and say, who are the only parties punishable? Only those who engage in sinful activities are punishable. Therefore, Vishnudutas particularly inquired about who is punishable and why Yamaraj has to be designated to discriminate between who is punishable and who is not. How is one to be judged? What is the basic principle of authority? What are the questions? These are the questions raised by Vishnudutas. This is very advanced knowledge. It's good to know these things. Yamaduta Vuchuhu. So this morning we'll be just spend time listening to the Yamadutas. That's how the chapter ends, the first chapter. Now they begin talking with the verse, text number 40 through text number 68. Like a 29 verses. This is Yamaduta Vuchuhu. Why Vuchuhu? Many. It was only one Yamadut, only one, then Uvacha. And then you see sometimes Uchuhu, means many are speaking. Uchu, Uvacha. So plural number gets Uchuhu. Yamadutaha, Uchuhu. Now you know. Uchuhu. So it's done. That ignorance is out. Now your knowledge. For the rest of your life, you know. Whenever there's Uchuhu, right? For next 30, 40 years, you know. Uchuhu means many persons are speaking. Easy, right? Just spend 1 minute or half minute to understand something and then you know. Once and for all. Veda pranihito dharmo yadharmas tadviparyayaha Vedo narayanaha sakshat swayambhur iti shushruma. So they have defined. It says, Veda pranihito. The Vedas are, what is prescribed in the Vedas are done things as per prescriptions of Vedas, that is Dharma. And tad viparyayaha, just opposite of that is adharma, irreligion. They are defining like this. Vedo narayanaha sakshat. Vedas are sakshat Narayan. This is Sanskrit. But you should be capable to understand this much. Vedas are sakshat Narayan. Directly Narayan. Sakshat Haritvena samasta shastrai. We sing every day. Sakshat Hari. Sakshat is himself directly. So Vedas are sakshat Narayan. Swayambhuriti Shushrama. And we have heard this from Yamaraj. Purport. The servants of Yamaraj replied quite properly. Prabhupada is giving his judgment. Prabhupada is satisfied. Says, Yamaraj's reply is quite proper. They did not manufacture principles of religion or irreligion. No manufacturing. Instead, they explained what they had heard from authority Yamaraj. Mahajano ena gataha sapanthaha. One should follow Mahajan, the authorized person. Yamaraj is one of the 12 authorities. They said, Shushruma. Prabhupada is writing. Iti Shushruma. We have heard this. What we are now saying this to you, that this Vedo Narayana Sakshat, iti Shushruma. We have heard this. Of course we have heard this from Yamaraj. Shushruma. This is the right way to acquire knowledge. Injunction of Dharma emanate from breathing of Narayan. And Srila Madhvacharya also makes a comment here. The transcendental words of the Vedas emanated from the mouth of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, the Vedic principles should be understood to be Vaishnava principles because Vishnu is the origin of the Vedas. Vedas contain nothing besides instructions of Vishnu, and one who follows the Vedic principles is a Vaishnava. So Vedas are also known as Apaurusheya. They call Apaurusheya. Means not spoken by ordinary human being. Apaurusheya. Yamadutas continue. Ena swadhamni dhamnyami bhava rajas sattvatamo mayaha gunanama kriya rupair vibhavyante yatha tatham. Ena swadhamni ami. This is Narayan. Narayan resides in his own abode, they say. Although he resides in his own abode, through the agency of Raja, Sattva, Tama, he's creating this whole existence, which is full of guna, that is qualities, nama, that's names, kriya, that is activities, rupa, that is forms. This world full of forms, qualities, activities is a creation of Narayan, which he creates with the help of Sattva, Raja, Tama, although he is not personally here. Ena swadhamni. Although he is in his own abode, he is creating everything. All these manifestations are. Thus, Narayan is cause of the entire cosmic manifestation. He is able to remain in his own abode, Prabhupada is writing. He, that is Narayan, is able to remain in his own abode and without endeavor supervise and manipulate the entire cosmic manifestation through interaction of three modes of material nature, sattva, raja, tama. These interactions create different forms, bodies, activities, and changes which all occur perfectly. This is Lord's creation. Everything is perfect. And having said that much, now Yamadutas are going to give a list of the witnesses. Someone commits sin, and before they are sent to carry out the order. So whether he's to be punished or rewarded or which body he gets next, this all has to depend on the actual facts about that person's dealings, activities. So there has to be witnesses, someone to witness the activity of that person. So they say, so please take note of the witnesses. A lot of times we just look around, but there's no one here, just me. And then we go. Just do it. You feel good, just do it. Don't even think. Just see around. There's no one around. But the Yamadutas say, Suryo Agni Khammaruddevaha Somaha Sandhya Ahani Dishaha Kam Kuhu Swayam Dharma iti Hete Daihyasya Sakshinaha. Sakshi Gopal, Sakshi Gopal? Witness Gopal. Gopal who witnessed. So Sakshinaha. So Daihyasya Sakshinaha. Dehi, we are Dehi, embodied. So of Dehi, that is Daihasya. Daihasya Sakshina. These are the witnesses of the activities performed by the conditioned soul. So who are they? Surya, sun. Agni, fire. Kam, ether. Shabdaha, K. Marud, sound is in ether. Shabdaha, K. K means in. In ether is sound. So that's another statement of Krishna from the 10th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. So Marut, the air. Even air, wherever you are, there's always air, right? Could you go to somewhere there's no air? You could go, but not come back. So even air is a witness. Air is given, you think the air is just passing by, but air gathered all the news. That air will go to Yamaraj or somehow pass the news on to him. Devaha, demigod. Somaha, the moon. Sandhya, evening. 3 Sandhya, evening time. Sandhya Kal. Ahani, the day. Dishaha, directions. How many directions are there? 10. Purva, Paschim, Dakshin, Uttar, Agneya, Nairitya, Vayu, Vishanya, Urdhva, Adhaha. These are the 10 names of 10 directions. So there are 10 directions. There are also witness. Kam, that is water. Ku, that is land. Swayam Dharma, Yamaraj himself is also witness. So like these are the witnesses. Now Prabhupada is writing in the purport. Once we had a discussion with a learned Christian professor who argued that although people are generally punished after the witnesses of their misdeeds are examined, the witnesses are examined. Someone committed misdeed and then witnesses are there, right? Saying, yes, I was there, I saw, this is my photograph. I took a photograph also, this is a recording, and I was right there. So when all these witnesses are examined, then there should be punishment. This was the argument of this Christian gentleman who was talking with Prabhupada, arguing with Prabhupada. Where are the witnesses responsible for one's suffering reactions of past karma? Says, oh, your Yamaraj punishes people, Hindu people or all the people, but, where are the witnesses? We committed sin, maybe in a cave, in a secluded place, or here, there, wherever. So how? They have to examine the witnesses, gather correct facts, then only the judgment is going to be right, otherwise it's going to be all wrong. You understand the argument of this priest? If you understand the argument, then you'll understand the reply. Yes? Understood? His point was Normally, the judgment comes after hearing the witnesses about someone's misdeed. For so many people, so many living entities, they are punished, but where are the witnesses? So judgment is not going to be wrong. It's going to be wrong according to him. Okay, then Prabhupada is now, to such a person, answer by the Yamadutas is given here. Prabhupada is not giving any answer himself. Just the Yamadutas have given answer to the question or argument of this Christian professor. A conditioned soul thinks that he is working stealthily. Stealthily? Stealing, stealing. Like a thief, stealthily he is working. Means without anybody noticing that some action is being performed. So conditioned soul thinks that he is working stealthily and that no one can see his sinful activities. But we can understand from the Shastras that there are many witnesses. We just found out from this Shastra. Witnesses like sun, fire, like that, sky, air, moon, and like that. About dozen different witnesses. Where is the dearth of witnesses? The witnesses and the Supreme Lord both exist. And therefore so many living entities are elevated to higher planetary systems or degraded to lower planetary systems, including hellish planets. There are no discrepancies, for everything is arranged perfectly by the management of the Supreme God. Swabhaviki Jnana Balakriya Cho. See how the creation of God works? We get to know this. They continue. Etair dharmo vigyataha sthanam dandasya yujyate sarve karamanurodhena dandam arhanti karinaha. Translation. The candidates for punishment are those who are confirmed by these many witnesses to have deviated from their prescribed regulative duties. Everyone engaged in fruitive activities is suitable to be subjected to punishment according to his sinful acts. Questions were raised. Who are the candidates for punishment? And Yamadutas say that everyone engaged in fruitive activities is going to be punished according to his sinful acts. So the witnesses, these different ones, they say, yes, we know that this person deviated from the prescribed regulative duties. He's a Brahmin and there's a prescribed duty. He's a Kshatriya, he's a Brahmachari, here is this, here is that. And each one has a prescribed duty. And all these personalities appointed to act as witnesses, they have been trained. They know what are the regulative principles, what is Dharma, what is not Dharma, and all that. So, through the eyes of the scriptures and keeping all these prescribed duties, knowledge in forefront of their mind, they are looking at different personalities. And as soon as they go against they deviate from the prescribed duty, immediately there's someone sleeping there in the middle of the Bhagavatam. This will be reported, right? The speaker may not take notice, but the witnesses are around. The news is all the time. The communication is. And for each one of us, there's one file. Yamaraj has super computer, and the data is all the time upgraded, updated, and plus, minus. Because person may leave any time, so report has to be ready. Not that he's dead and no pending file and they have to review and do all calculations. Who knows? No, as soon as the person is no more, which could be any time, so all the data has to be ever ready. So perfect. Prabhupada just said, Lord's management is perfect. No delays.